everyone, Lights and Gear is back with another flashlight, and today's review is of a light which you may not have heard of before, certainly one of the lesser known brands that have been cropping up in recent months and years. This is the Nitefox UT25, and this one comes with its own 18650 rechargeable battery because it is a USB rechargeable flashlight. As you can see by the box, there's very little indicators of what it is except for the barcode sticker on it here. So another sort of recycled, more recycled packaging, as is very common with some of the lesser expensive brands. So we have here the Nitefox UT25. So the manual does give you all the indicators of the flashlight. It's a pretty good manual actually, and does cover all the basics. So we'll get to a bit of that in a moment. Inside you'll find the little plastic cutout here and the flashlight. There is a notice here about what to do when using the USB charging portion. So take everything out. Flashlight is here at about 5.7 inches long. It is not a zooming head flashlight, so nothing moves in that regard. It's always 5.7 inches long. And here is the Velcro holster. And inside the holster are a couple of other goodies as well. So all this aside, and here is a little packet containing a spare switch cover, switch button, and an O-ring. Inside the Velcro holster, you'll find the rest of the stuff. Here's a lanyard. It is adjustable, so that's pretty good. Here is a micro USB charging cable, if that would be so kind as to allow me to extract it. There you go. So just like every other USB charging cable, it seems to be of a reasonable length. And I think, is that it? I think that's it. That is all. So here are your basic accessories. As you can see, there's also a pocket clip attached to it. There's a tactical ring here on the bottom, which is completely removable. Now, if you take the tail cap off, here's the inside of the cap there at the bottom, and included in the light is a battery. So they give you their own Nitefox 2600 mAh 3.7 volt rechargeable 18650 battery. I have run this through a couple of tests, and through all accounts, I think it does appear to have a protection circuit. But anyway, the battery is actually of the capacity that's listed on the label. In doing the charging and discharging tests, I actually got a little bit more than 2600 mAh. So I would say that the battery is of reasonable quality and is certainly of the capacity that they have noted. Now, inside there is not too much except for a post up there at the top. Here is the little tactical ring that you can remove. I personally don't have a use for those. Put the battery back in. Has reasonably good threading here on the end, and they're reasonably greased as well. Two switches are on the light. The tail switch is tactical in nature, so you can get momentary light by just giving it a light press. Once it's on, of course, and it clicks, then it's locked in, and the side switch changes the modes. Here's the LED, which is a CREE XP-L amidst a smooth reflector, so it has a reasonably good beam distance of almost 300 meters. As you can see, you have the beveled edge here, which is quite, it's not, you know, I mean, it's not It's machined, so it's not overly sharp, but it will do damage if you need to break glass or something of that nature, so it will work for that regard. Now you can pull this off too if you want. Don't know if you'd want to, but you can pull it off. Anyway, so there's the lens. Got a good reflector in there. Now, let's take a look at the instruction manual for a moment and tell you what the modes are. There are only 3 in this particular light. There's low, medium, and high. There is no moonlight, there's no turbo. Low, they say, is 30, medium is 300, and high is 1,380 lumens. I'm going to take exception to that because I really do not believe it is that high of an output. And I can even just look at it and tell from the distance between the medium output and the high output that unless medium is a lot more than 300, high would be less than 1380. But anyway, I mean, it's pretty bright, but it's not quite as bright as a couple of other lights I have, which are in that range of output. It will run for about an hour and a half on the highest mode, and there's also a low battery voltage warning, which it does give you underneath the switch here. You can also check battery voltage anytime by pressing the button, and I'll show you how to do that right now. What you'll do is press this 2 times or more, 2 or more times, but then you have to press the end switch at the same time. So if you go like 1, 2, and then press, you'll get a voltage count right here. And this battery is starting to get a little bit low, not much, but now if you were paying attention there, you could actually count the number of volts. Now, once it's done that, I can't actually turn the light on without clicking the end switch. Technically the light is on, but it won't do anything after it's counted the volts. I have to actually hit the tail switch again and then turn it on again in order for it to work. But as far as that voltage count goes, I can do it again, and this time we'll turn off a little bit of light so we can see it better, and I'll actually count. So as I'm pressing this, I click this 1, 2, 3, and then it starts counting 0.0 volts after that. And I think it's going up to about 3.8. So it blinks 3 times in green for like 2 point, 3 point, 4 point, and then red with the hundredths of a current, or hundredths of a volt, I guess. So anyway, that's how that works. But your finger is almost on it the second it starts counting in green, so you have to move your finger out of the way and start counting, or else you'll miss one. So that's the only funny part about that switch. And as the battery gets low, it will also start blinking. And to charge the battery, of course, here's your USB port on the other side. So of course you just plug the USB in there, and when you do that, as soon as you plug it in, or actually they say you have to turn the light on first, so you'll flip the switch and turn the light on, then plug that in, the light will go out, and then the battery will start charging, and this will be flashing in green to show it's charging. And then when the charge is finished, the green will go solid, constant. So it'll just go flashing green to a constant green. There won't be any red within the charging of the battery, but you have to effectively turn the light on in order to start charging, but the light won't work while it is charging. Anyway, so that's kind of the nitty-gritty out of the voltage indicator and what it does when using the internal charging circuit. Anyway, so as you've already kind of seen, you flick the switch to turn it on, and then you change the modes, obviously, with the side switch, and it just goes low, medium, and high. Let me turn off the other light over here, and now it is pretty bright. It has a very It has a very defined center spot to the beam. This is low, and here's medium, and here's high. Now, when you're outside, this is what I was saying about the highest beam. There really isn't a whole lot of difference. There's a difference between medium and high, don't get me wrong, but it's not as large a distance as it would be is if the output was truly what they say it is. So for the output to be what they say it is, it would be a lot brighter on that third spot than it is currently. Now this battery is starting to get, it's not low, but it's around 3.8. So if I left this on high for a couple of moments here, the indicator on the side would start flashing green. It hasn't done it yet, but after about 2 or 3 minutes it would probably start flashing green on me. And then if you just click it again, of course, it'll go right back down to low. Now there is mode memory on here, of course, so I mean I can be in any mode I want and then turn it off, you know, wait any amount of time, whatever, turn it back on, and of course it will be in the last mode that it was in. Now I'll show you the flashing modes, and I didn't even mention those. There are 3 emergency flashing modes. There's Strobe, SOS, oh there it goes, now it's flashing green on me already. But the voltage on this battery really isn't that low, but it's already starting to show the green. Anyway, there are 3 flashing modes: Strobe, SOS, and Location Beacon. And the way to get to them is to have the light on, and then you just press and hold. And here is Strobe, as you can see. And then if I press and hold again, I get to SOS. So here's SOS by pressing and holding, and then pressing and holding again, I get to a beacon mode, and this is the most unusual beacon mode I've ever seen, because it does this very weird kind of almost like a dimmer switch flash, as you can see, which is unlike any other beacon I've ever seen before. So just leave it for a couple of seconds, and then it comes on and dies out. See that? That's a very unique kind of beacon. And meanwhile, the switch is still flashing green while all this is going on. And then to get back to the other mode you were in before, you just give it a regular press, and then it'll go back to the previous mode. Now, overall, this isn't a bad flashlight. It's a little less expensive than some. It has a couple of less modes than some of the other brand lights do, and doesn't have instant access to the lowest or the highest mode, that kind of thing. It just has instant access to the flashing modes, you know, when it's already on. But all in all, it's a pretty good light. It does have some, I mean, it has quality. It's made of quality materials, and of course it gives you all that here in the instruction manual, as far as, and it is waterproof to IPX8, and it's also impact resistant to 2 meters. And as I said, you get your beam distance there of just under 300 meters. So I mean, it has quality features that some of the more expensive lights do, such as the glass lens and the scratch-resistant body with a Type 3 and so forth. Now, as far as the batteries are concerned, you can use the 18650 that it comes with, or you can use 2 CR123s, but because running voltage only goes to 6 volts, you cannot use any other rechargeable batteries other than an 18650. You can't use any 16340s or anything like that. So just be aware of that. And of course, with the internal charging, you might not want to use anything other than an 18650 anyway. But I think it's a pretty cool light. It was supplied to me by the Amazon sellers of Nitefox, and you can click the link below in the description of this video, and of course check out their product page on Amazon and pick up a UT25 there if you'd like. And you can also visit my written review, where of course I have the outdoor beam shots and so forth of the flashlight at lightsandgear.com, and the link there, the same link to the Amazon page, is at my written review. So again, this has been the Nitefox UT25 Tactical LED flashlight. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Questions, of course, let me know below. Check out lightsandgear.com for more flashlights, batteries, and so forth, and we'll see you next time with more. Take it easy.